Big thanks to Kamado Joe for sponsoring this episode.
This rib roast has been cooked in less than 5 minutes and it looks absolutely freaking delicious. And I know you're thinking, no way that's been cooked in 5 minutes. Yes, it is. Let me show you how. A week ago, I started with this beautiful rib roast. I tied it up with some butcher swine and placed it in my dry age cabinet. And now it looks like this. A beautiful rib roast, dry aged, nice pellicle on the outside. This thing looks absolutely amazing as it is, and I could just put this on the grill, but I'm not going to. It's going to be a whole different story that you never expect. Get the right knife out and sharpen it up. Take the butcher swine off. And then carefully start removing the pellicle, making sure you don't cut off too much, since this is only 1 week dry aged. The dry aging created this beautiful dark red meat that became more intense in flavor and more tender. And if you do it right, your rib roast looks like this. Now we're getting to the next step. The step that really matters and it's going to change everything. I'm going to cut along the bone. I'm going to make a long incision. And by doing so, I'm butterflying the rib roast, making sure that the butterfly steak doesn't become less than 1 finger thick. Then with your hands, start flattening that rib roast. So basically, you just created one big flat steak. The first thing that I'm going to do now is season this rib roast steak with salt and pepper. I'm not going to put on too much, just a little bit of salt, just a little bit of ground pepper to let the flavors of the meat pop. Now I'm a pepper guy, so I'm going to put on a little extra. And this meat is ready for the grill. So I'm going to fire up my Kamado Joe Big Joe. Light it up with some embers from your fireplace. In the meantime, I'm gonna melt a whole pack of butter. Once that butter is melted, I'm gonna add 2 cloves of garlic and a whole bunch of thyme. Let the herbs slowly fry and then it's time to go back to the grill. The charcoal's now fully lit and as you can see, I've got a slow smoldering fire. I don't have anything crazy going on. I just wanna start with a low temperature. Now, let's put the meat on the grill. Straight over direct heat on the grill grates, and I want this to sit on top of the grill as a whole thing. I'm gonna close the lid and I'm gonna keep the temperatures low while I'm grilling this steak, at least at the first stage of cooking. I want it to cook fully through, rare medium style of grilling, but I want the outside to form a crust. So I'm gonna open up the top vent to 2 stripes open and the bottom vent to 2 fingers open. That's gonna allow for a little bit of airflow. The juices of the meat are gonna drip down together with the fat. Everything is gonna warm up. It's gonna give a little bit of smoke. And once we hear the sizzle, we're gonna check back, and that should be in around a minute or so. We clearly have a light sizzle going on, and let's see what that looks like. We got some caramelization that's starting to look good, but as you can see, not all of it is properly grilled yet. So I'm gonna move it around, making sure that that red spot hits the heat. And that's the cool thing about grilling a roast like this. You got so much maneuverability. Grill the other side. I've been grilling now for around 5 minutes and we've built up that beautiful crust, warmed up the inside, and I just checked the temperature and we're around 50 degrees at some points a little lower. And with grilling this, it's not gonna be an even cook, so you're not gonna have the perfect rosé everywhere. But that's not what this is about. Let's get this off the grill. Now it's starting to look good. I wanna season it with a little bit more salt. And that's where the butter comes in. We brown the butter with the flavors of the spices. Nice nutty flavor. And here comes the magic trick. We're gonna roll this back up and turn it back into its original position. And as you can see, it doesn't look all that pretty, and we're gonna fix that. In this case, I'm gonna start in the middle, and I'm gonna tie this back up. Oh, look at that. We tied it back up. It looks like a proper roast now. We got the caramelizations and look at that. All the juice is running up my board. Oh, Martian, catch it. And to show you what this is all about, I'm gonna cut this in half. We're going to take a closer look on the inside of this so you can see what it means to cook a rib roast like this. Cooked in under 5 minutes. Look at that. That is absolutely freaking amazing. Crusty, crunchy, you're gonna have more flavor from this than from any rib roast with that crunchy. This is gonna be your best rib roast yet, and it's going to be done under 5 minutes. Now, of course, we gotta talk about the pros and cons of this rib roast. The bad side about this rib roast is that you don't have that beautiful pink surface that you would expect, but in reality the flavor of this rib roast just enhanced by 2000% because you created all that surface and you grilled it and it had the Maillard effect, so that beef flavor is gonna pop way more. All in all, this is harder to get an even cook on, but it looks freaking delicious. And now all I need to do is get a piece of that and give it a try. 5 minutes rib roast, perfect.